Look into my eyes. When you see me on a show, when you see these fans, you know you've got the best in the damn world.
This is the Wrestling Matters podcast where we stand up for professional wrestling.
Here we fucking go! Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change!
Professional wrestling! This is it! This is us standing up! Yes! 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 Yes!
That's 13-14!
Dina, I am the best in the world.
Cause that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold said so.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is me, that HEAD, back with you for the 4th installment of WCPW. That's right, the WCPW episode 4 of Loaded was an intriguing show, to say the very least, ladies and gents. And it all builds into Built and Destroy, which is next week. That's right, Built to Destroy, which is next week. Anyway, welcome to the 4th episode of WCW Podcast, presented by the Wrestling Matters Podcast and hosted by moi. That's right, Anthony Walker, at your service for another installment. And WCPW kicked off this week with the GM, and he makes a main event that is Coffey teams with Damo versus Rampage Brown and Primate. Then makes a match for next week with Primate and Coffey in a no-holds-barred match. Also, Prince Ameen, guy who I'm very familiar with, comes out and interrupts and gets ready, or gets Kid ready, or attempts to get Kid ready for his match with Drake. Kid comes out, wrestles Drake, the match takes place, and it was okay at first. It was okay indeed. But Kid always kept on getting distracted by Ameen, and then refuses to do one thing that Ameen wanted him to do, and that was a pedigree, I believe. He wanted him to do his pedigree finishing move. Yes, Prince Ameen does the pedigree, but Kid did not want to do it. No, Kid did not want to do it. So Ameen lays him out, and Drake gets the victory with his move, finishes him off, which was not very intriguing for Prince Ameen. GM comes back out and makes a match next week for Kid, and if Kid loses, Gabriel Kid that is, he must become Prince Ameen's servant. But if Prince Ameen loses, he becomes Kid's servant next week. All next week on the show, which is Built to Destroy. But the GM forced Prince Ameen to wrestle in a 3-way dance elimination against Kirby and Ligero. It was more like 2-on-1 because Prince Ameen and Kirby basically beat up Ligero for most of the match. And then Prince Ameen wanted Kid to punch Ligero. He didn't do it. Kid punches him. Kirby rolls him up, gets the victory. And then Ligero beats Kirby with the springboard DDT that he does, the finishing move. GM then comes back out and makes a match next week with Kirby versus Ligero. And if Kirby wins, Ligero must be unmasked. Can't see that happening. And Kirby loses, he wears a dress. That's right, he does a Perry Saturn on WCW. Wears a dress. Now, Joseph Connors went one-on-one in a great technical wrestling match. Because that's what it was, basically. It was a good old-fashioned technical wrestling match against Noam Dar. Good all-round wrestling, submissions, mat wrestling. And it all ended with Noam Dar, I believe, with a little help from the guy who's just trying to hold, or seems to hold, Joseph Connors back, and that's Joe Hendry in this team. And Dar wins with the champagne knee bar, or the champagne super knee bar on, and makes Joseph tap. And then it was on to the big bad main event, which was Damo and Joe Coffey versus Primate and Rampage Brown. Great double teaming by Joe Coffey to start off. It was a great tag match all around, quite frankly. Dominated mostly by Rampage Brown and Primate because they kept on, isolating Joe Coffey in their corner. Adam again demanded that Rampage Brown hit Joe Coffey with the pile driver. Rampage did not do it. Ref then loses control of the match and an all-out brawl ensues. That's right, an all-out basically riot involving every member of the WCPW roster. Hell, even Adam and Jack the Jobber got involved. That's right. Adam then holded out of Jack the Jobber. Susie came in, who was with Primate, slaps Adam, even though she was meant for Jack. And then Damo powerbombs a member of the Prospect, James R. Kennedy's Prospect, onto the entire roster. A very crazy way to end WCPW Loaded, but it's all building up, ladies and gentlemen, for next week, because next week it is Built to Destroy, headlined by Rampage Brown going one-on-one with Big Damo for the WCPW Championship, and a few other matches as well. Primate goes one-on-one with Joe Coffey in a no-holds-barred match, and various other stuff as well with that involved. Primate goes one-on-one with Joe Coffey, no-holds-barred. Who else is there? Kirby and Ligero, Ameen and Kid, all comes together next week on Built to Destroy, coming to you from, and it'll be exclusive if you want to see that show, Built to Destroy next week. If you want to see it, check out WCPW's channel, where you can see all the loaded stuff on What Culture Wrestling on YouTube. All in all, guys, that is the end of this WCPW review. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Episode 4. Tune in next week for the Built to Destroy review. I will be back next week with the Built to Destroy review, so look out for that. Subscribe to the Wrestling Matters channel as well for more WCPW podcasts, as well as the CWC. I'll be back later in the week with the CWC review, and until then, guys, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change. Professional wrestling, this is it. This is us standing up. Yes, 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 yes. That's 13-14.
Naked till death.
Dina, I am the best in the world.
Cause that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold said so.